ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
I posed the question in passing because I was thinking about this Wellness Wednesday and healthcare. And I remember the reason why Obamacare / ACA, Affordable Care Act, which is the same exact thing, by the way, and people didn't know that. And you have this president who is willfully misinforming people, talking about Obama getting some sort of royalty off. No, he didn't. All he did was make sure that 30 more million Americans got health care because people were going bankrupt and dying. Because something that is basic as health care that other nations have and places like Massachusetts have understood, even under Republican rule, that people should have health care. You should not have to decide between health care and food in a country as rich as this, where we have a trillionaire and a bunch of billionaires. That shouldn't even be a case, right? And when Congress has some of the best health care in the world, y'all should legislate that for everybody else. You should want everybody to have what you have because you represent us, right? But I was just thinking today, what if this is a conspiracy? What if this is the goal is to get rid of people? You know, I'm being careful with my words because I don't want to, be hyperbolic. But I was thinking about how do you cull society in a modern era? I was talking yesterday. If you missed the show yesterday, you can catch it on demand on the app, the SiriusXM app. I was talking yesterday about how our tech billionaires don't let their children necessarily use the tech that they push on the rest of us. Steve Jobs was notorious for his children not even owning an iPad. Zuckerberg has his children in school where they don't have a lot of tech. And then another tech giant was saying how he is pushing his children towards, the humanities, towards history, towards literature. And they're not spending a whole lot of time in technology because they want their children to be evolved whole human beings. They don't want them to be zombies, cracked out on the screens. So what are we doing? So if the goal is to capture our minds, keep us distracted with the trans people and these people and all of the issues that divide us, blacks and immigrants and the illegals and this, keep us fighting while they pick our pockets. If the goal is to keep us distracted with the algorithm that is literally forcing us to engage and scream, doom scroll, doom scroll, doom scroll. If the goal is to keep us unhealthy with all of these chemicals in our food, in our water, in our air, so that we need the drugs, and then we need the drugs for the side effects to the drugs, the amount of Freseniuses and DaVitas in our neighborhoods should be scary to everyone who lives in a neighborhood with a Fresenius and a DaVita, because I don't recall ever seeing a single dialysis place when I was growing up. And now they're everywhere. So which came first? The diabetes or the companies that provide dialysis? And do they need more people on dialysis to make more money? And if the answer is yes, how do they accomplish that? Now, here's where we come in, right? Just like showing up to vote. 90 million people said, I don't want to be participating in something that will impact me greater than trans people in bathrooms. So they sat home. In November, we got this. Some of you are like, life is short. I'm going to eat this fill in the blank, this next piece of pie, this cake, this fried chicken. And I'm not shaming anybody because eating food addiction is an addiction just like alcoholism. I completely get that. But you don't just let alcoholism rage. You go and get help, right? And Ozempic may or may not be. I think it's gotten a lot of people skinny. But has it gotten us healthy? And what are the side effects of Ozempic? And what's the impact on your liver and kidneys over a 10-year period? They don't know. We don't know. You don't know. We're starting to see some gastro, issues, some reflux, some stuff is going on with people's tummies that then you need medicine for that. which makes you wildly unhealthy. The high blood pressure and the domino effect of the autoimmune diseases, right? Because once you get one and you get a second one, it's like a domino. Now you got maybe 3 of them: eczema, MS, all of that. It's all gut related. It's all willful. And the medical field, they're not necessarily going to tell you it's all, if you clean your diet and clean your gut, maybe everything. And I'm not saying that that's the case, because once homeostasis is out, once you are out of whack, it's so hard to get back into whack. And yes, you do. If you need medicine for an infection, you got to go get that antibiotic. You're not going to just cure that naturally, because some of us go too far there too and end up not here. Holistic is not even the answer once we have gone too far. I'm saying something to say that perhaps we should consider all of this is on purpose. And if it's on purpose, what should your response be? And I just want us to consider this on Wellness Wednesday. Is there something that we can do? Is there something that we can do individually? Can we make better choices? Can we go get help if we have an addiction to food? If we can manage it, we don't think we have an addiction, can we eliminate the sodas? Can we do a better job of reading the label? Because I promise you, I was sharing with y'all, several months ago that I was on the Skinny Pop thing because it said skinny. And it seemed healthy. It's like 100 calories a bag. And then I looked at the oil and I said, no, because I'm an obsessive compulsive person. So I can't just eat one bag. But I can justify 3 bags because that's only 300 calories. But then what about the oil content? So I'm now being very fastidious with reading labels and checking out the kind of oils the stuff is in, even when I'm at restaurant. What was this cooked in? And I don't want to be one of those people because, I can go too far because I'm OCD. But I think it's important that we are now, a lot of us, having to pay a lot more for health care. So it's incumbent upon us to make sure we take care of our health. Please get your teeth cleaned. Please get your teeth. Just 2 weeks ago, I go about every 6 months to get my teeth cleaned, and then now I've upped the flossing and the picks, and I'm gonna do all of that. I'd rather do that than to have heart problems, because the plaque on that's hiding under your gums and in between your teeth, direct correlation between the plaque there and the plaque in your heart. I'm gonna do everything in my power, and it still may not be enough, but I'm gonna do everything. I want to be a little bit blameless, especially if there's a willful attack on us. And it does seem willful. And at the very least, maybe it's not willful, but it absolutely is. They don't care. So even if they're not in a lab trying to kill all of us, they don't care whether we die, period. So I care. I want us to live, and I want us to do better, because we need to be here to fight this fight. And it's hard to fight the fight when you're on oxygen and dialysis and you can't move about the cabin very well. And if you are on those things and it's not reversible at this point, I'm not shaming anybody. But if they're telling you you're pre anything, let's get post that thing. Let's get beyond it, because you can do something in the moment. And I just want to remind us that the Calvary's not coming. These folk, as you just saw, they're going to look out for themselves and their pocketbooks and their children, and they will give a damn if all of us aren't here anymore, especially us. So I want to do better. But on the good news front, I just saw that Wendy's is set to close hundreds of U.S. stores. And not that Wendy's is the problem. It is the sole problem. But, there's a reason why in certain neighborhoods there are fast food restaurants on every corner, not a grocery store. Fast food restaurants on every corner, but not a grocery store. Is that on purpose? Yes. Yes. Ads for liquor stores on every other block, but not a grocery store with fresh fruits and vegetables. They call them food deserts, but they're only in certain neighborhoods. Well, on Friday, Wendy's interim CEO didn't disclose the exact number or locations of the restaurants that they plan to shutter, but he said that it's likely to be in the mid-single-digit percentage of its 6,011 locations in the United States, or roughly 300 closures will be happening. And it's because low-income consumers are not buying, because y'all started raising the prices. You rose the prices of the food and you made it unaffordable for people, or maybe people are waking up and getting a bag of rice and some beans and doing what our grandmamas and them did, cooking meals for the whole week that people can actually eat and live off of and subsist off of, and it's cheaper than fast food. Fast is not good when it means we're unhealthy. So I just wanted to say that. All right.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We